is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the altar again, and this time we are here with Eklatanz of the Almighty Heretoir. It is so great to be able to talk with you. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It's so cool to have you on the go. I feel like I'm talking to you while you're in the Batmobile right now. I love it.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm actually in the car right now, but yeah.
yeah. It doesn't get more cult than that. And I just hope you're not the one driving right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm safe in the back seat. Yeah.
Okay, because if God forbid something happened while I'm doing this interview, this would be like that album cover that Dead for Mayhem was on, and as metal as that would be, I don't want to be the one responsible for that. Yeah.
No, no.
But it's so awesome to have you here. Your new EP, Wastelands, is absolutely awesome. Being that this is an EP rather than a full-length album, is this meant to serve as sort of like a preview of the direction Heretoir is going into after The Circle, or is this sort of meant to just be like a one-off standout in the Heretoir adventure?
Yeah, actually, Wastelands is a kind of where we are right now as a band. Of course, it relates back to The Circle as well, but still, it's just like a standpoint as of now. Like that's what we do now. That's Heretoir in 2023. I think you can never define us, like put us in a box or something as a band, because we never want to do music that's expectable, kind of. Just want to, yeah, those three new songs that are on the EP just work together so well. That's why we just wanted to put them on this release as they are, in connection to the live versions of the Circle songs. And yeah, I think that's just, as I said, Heretoir in 2023, and there's more to come, and it might be different again from what Wastelands is.
Yeah, because I've noticed, like when I listened to the first Heretoir full length album, when you like compare a track like Fatigue versus like Escape Part 1 and 2 versus like Zero, or even the band title track Heretoir, it seemed like every song sort of plays by its own rules in a way and has its own expression of darkness. Does it ever start off with a preconceived vision in a way, or is it a very improvisational songwriting process?
I think it's very improvisational, because it just depends on the mood that we are in as a band when writing stuff. I mean, we have like it developed also kind of because I used to write all the songs. Now we're writing songs as a band as well. Our bass player Nathanael is also writing stuff, so we get together and it all kind of comes together, just sitting down in the right mood and just having a melody in mind, or having some kind of vision, something that that gave you something special that you want to convert into music. And that's just maybe some like one melody that I have in my head, and then more happens, like more melodies come on top, and this wall of sound develops, kind of.
You mentioned also it depends on the mood that the band is in, but the music consists of five of you guys when you're writing as a band. So is it really possible for everybody in the band to be feeling in the same mood and feeling the same emotion all at the same time?
I think we perceive Heretoir very differently as well. Like I might have some different perception and moods than the others have, but in the end, it all comes together pretty well now. I think it was a process to work as a band, to write as a band and everything. And but like we wouldn't be in the band together, like the five people that we are, if we wouldn't have some kind of common sense musically with what we want to create and how we feel about certain music.
Well, being that you also rely on a mood to create the music in a way, but when you work on something for a long period of time, does it make it a little bit harder to sort of maintain that mood in a way? Do you prefer to feel the same way when you finish a song as you do when you start it?
Yeah, I definitely prefer that. Yeah, like I think, yeah, it's kind of harder to answer actually. I think I can only speak for myself, kind of, because it's like a magical process that happens when like I like to write music at night, when everything, like when the world is standing still, kind of, and the idea that I initially have maybe might totally change to something very different while I'm writing it, and the initial thing that I wanted to do with it might have a total different outcome. And I can't really speak for the others of the band, but that's like how it happens for me when I write. I hope that kind of answers the question.
Definitely does. But when it comes to like the lyrical aspect, has the music ever been conceptually driven? Has a lyrical idea or a meaning helped maybe dictate the direction of the sound?
Not really. I think for me, music always speaks, and like the lyrics kind of develop on top of those things that I write. Sometimes actually there have been some lyrical fragments for songs that kind of helped develop the song more. But most of the time, there's just like the melodies and everything, and the song, the instrumental version, and out of this musical journey, kind of the lyrics develop most of the time.
Is your music meant to be open to interpretation, or do you want the listener to sort of be as engaged in the meaning and the concept as much as the music itself?
That differs. Like for the old stuff, like the old stuff for the Circle and everything that came before, it was kind of open to interpretation, I think, for the lyrics. But now with Wastelands, I think we're pretty clear about our message that we want to convey and about the state of our world. I think it's not really, there's not that much room for interpretation. As for Animal, for example, I think that's a song that's about the soul, and everybody that there's more room for interpretation. But for Wasteland's title track, for example, it's pretty clear. And I think it was also a change here to be really clear about some stuff and to talk about certain things in a very direct way. And that was pretty important to me and to us as a band.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that from analyzing a track like Wastelands, but when you listen to like At Dusk or Anima too, it seems like, is it fair to say that maybe like you, because it was about like the state of the world that we live in, that there was a lot more external sources of inspiration in a way?
Yeah, definitely. I think Heretoir is always a kind of a reflection of our lives, like of what happens in our everyday lives, the ups, the downs. And now also like about the shitty state that our world is in at the moment, like the way humans behave, the way humans treat everything around them and every living being. And I think all of us have been pretty engaged in this topic for years, and now we kind of wanted to express that as well in our music and our lyrics.
Because you're expressing this meaning, does it resonate with you than if you were singing stuff off of the Circle or the debut album? Does it feel differently or hit you differently when you're, depending on the lyrical subject matter that you're singing about?
It definitely hits different because speaking for myself, the stuff of the Circle and the self-titled, I think it was stuff that was written by myself, and now we did this as a band. So that's like a difference for the feeling, and because for the stuff that I wrote myself, I exactly go through those emotions that I had when writing the song. So like I just go back to that moment kind of, and the way I was feeling, and for this now it just means so much to me because I have the feeling that there's a chance, at least with those lyrics, and to catch somebody and to make somebody think about those topics.
Please.
No, that's that was all.
I was going to ask too, like, is there almost like a lot of research that's conducted into the meaning, into the lyrical aspects that you're writing about? Like, is there a lot of like looking outward and observation as part of your songwriting process, as just as much as picking up an instrument?
Not really. I think it's just emotion that's like flowing into the world. Where it's like I think my bandmates like even deal a lot more with certain topics, and I also read a lot of books. Like Nathaniel, basically, he has a great knowledge about all of those things and environmentalism and all kinds of topics that are also part of the lyrics. And as for me, I think it's just I hear the music and it just transforms into lyrics and to a certain feeling I have about the state of our world.
when you have to use that meaning, obviously it's very cathartic and it's important that you address these meanings, but does that also maybe make the songwriting process in a way like deteriorating or even toxic when darkness and negativity is almost kind of the fuel behind your fire?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it kind of depends. I think it's rather a catharsis, rather freeing freeing those negative feelings and transforming them into something. I would not say positive in this way, maybe for Wastelands, but yeah, transforming them into something creative. So normally I'm not left with a bitter feeling or with depression or anything after having written something. It's always a positive thing and always kind of frees my head and everything. So it's not like I've never written something where I say, okay, I'm super depressed afterwards or something. That's
Yeah.
no, that's not that way.
Yeah. And the final question I have before we beat the lyrics anymore to death, but in terms of what you're expressing on Wastelands, why do you feel that the style that we have from Heretoir is sort of like the best style of music to sort of address your message?
That's a difficult question because I think when it comes to style of music, I think we've always been very diverse. So I think the main ingredient in our music is emotion. So, and you can evoke emotion with all kinds of musical styles. So I would never try to put us in a style box, a musical style box. So it could be anything. It could be like the Circle had more modern elements. Self-Titled was more into the traditional, like we had more black metal aspects to it. And I think we kind of get all of that into Wastelands, and I think it kind of works. You could expect anything from us musically, like music when it comes to musical style.
Yeah. So are we gonna get a Heretoir country album anytime soon?
Heretoir country album, that might be like a musical style that we won't do, but never say never.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. But when it comes to getting that inspiration and that emotional drive to create music, does it come to you out of nowhere in a way, or do you almost look for inspiration? Is inspiration really something that can be sought out in a way, or does it just have to strike you?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'm on the outlook for inspiration, kind of like I just maybe might watch a certain movie or read a certain book or have certain conversations with people that inspire you. And but sometimes it's also just like a normal day. I get home and I have a melody in mind or something, and or a beat or like a drum beat, and talk to a drummer and work that out. Like it kind of differs, but sometimes in general I would say I'm on the outlook for inspiration, definitely.
Now, I'm sure everybody in the press is going to ask this at one point, so just I acknowledge that, so bear with me for asking it. But the name Eklatanz, I think it's a very unique name, and I think it really it kind of brings like an interesting sort of aura behind it. Do you almost in your music? I won't say your real name, even though I think if I highlight over Zoom, it already did. But do you
No
almost
problem.
do you almost maybe portray in a way like an alter ego or an additional identity within Heretoir that you don't normally do either outside in your personal life or through any of your other projects that you've been involved with?
I think so, yeah, because like in my private life, I'm maybe more of a. I mean, I'm an open person, definitely, but I think with Hardcore on stage, I just turn myself, like I just turn my inside feelings out completely. I just open up completely emotionally, and everyone can see that on stage, like when we play on stage and everything. I normally don't do that in my private life, so it's definitely a way to just let go. And Eklatanz, that word, I think it's hard to translate to English right now. I don't really know.
It's hard for me to pronounce, so.
Eklatanz, I think it means if something is striking and sticking out. But also kind of in a negative way. I don't know. I think I should not try to explain that in English because I don't have the right words now.
Should I call my
But
mom? My mom is from Bavaria, so
oh wow, okay,
yeah,
cool.
she's from
Yeah.
Straubing. So,
Okay, well that's actually next to us. It's not that far from us.
are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. We're living in Bavaria, so it's like maybe
Where in
30
Bavaria are
kilometers.
you?
In Augsburg. That's like that far from Munich.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
Are you kind of close to Regensburg in a way?
yeah, like it's like maybe a 1.5 hour drive,
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know what it is about Bavaria, but with Imperium Decadence as well as Dark Fortress, rest in peace, and Obscura
Yeah,
coming from Landshut, because what I've noticed is on Western Germany it's all metalcore, but on East Germany it's all black metal in a way.
yeah.
Is there
It totally is.
is there an explanation behind that, or is that just something as a journalist I analyzed way too hard?
I don't really know. I think we also had a pretty big metalcore scene in Augsburg, actually. Yeah, like Western Bavaria. It's just as you say, but I have no explanation why it is that way.
Yeah.
I
When
think I actually studied in Eastern Bavaria, so I know some kind of like some bands of those Obscura and everything. Yeah, some people were even also studying there. Yeah, got
when
to know like the scene in Bavaria is pretty close connected.
Yeah. Well, when are we getting a festival on the Alps or in the Bavarian forests?
A festival in Bavaria. Like, I have to think we have a couple of festivals this year. We actually just played in Munich at a festival, Dark Eastern Metal Meeting, and I'm sure we're gonna have a show in Bavaria pretty soon again this year. Definitely, there's something coming up.
This year's Volksfest in Straubing.
Yeah, we could try that.
Please. Oh my God. I mean, I've been to Volksfest twice and or no, three times, and everybody there is so drunk they'll listen to anything and enjoy it.
Maybe not 100% our audience, but yeah, like, why not?
Hey, you never know. You never know until you try, right?
Yeah, right. You're right.
Yep. Have you been to Volksfest before?
I actually have like I never wanted to go, but at some point I was kind of forced, and actually in the afternoon it was okay. Like I wouldn't go in the evening when everyone's super drunk. But yeah, like
I was 11 years old when I went to my first Volksfest, and let me tell you, and I was there late at night, and I learned a lot about life at that time.
okay, I can imagine. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I saw,
It's an experience.
yeah, I saw somebody die, and I saw somebody get made, so I learned all about life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. That's heavy. Yeah.
yeah. Um, on that note, I have a few more questions for you. But when it comes to the songwriting process, how do you know when you are finished with a song?
That's a good question too, because I can give you a good example. For example, we had like the song "The White" from the Circle, and the work on that song was super long. Like we got back to the song a couple of times, and like there's this ending part of the song, and it took very long. And like at some point, we had the song was completely different in the end, and we were thinking, yeah, okay, that's it. And then we just let it rest for a couple of months, and then we came back to it, and we were like, oh no, let's change this part. I think you have this feeling like everyone listens to it and everyone goes, yeah, that's like a round thing. I don't know how to say it in English right now. That's yeah, that works, and everyone in the band has this opinion. I think then the song is finished.
And then when it comes to your live presence, this is the final question because I know that on Wastelands we also do get a couple live tracks such as Golden Dust, Exhale, and The White. Excellent live tracks. Is there at all a similar energy that you channel into your live presence as you do when you are songwriting, or are they two completely separate creative mindsets altogether?
No, I think, as I said before, I think I always get kind of teleported back to that special mood and the special moment in life where this song came from. So I just go through, like, also with the lyrics, I go through certain things live, and like there's definitely a connection there. but it also, of course, always depends on the audience that is there. If you connect with the audience and how the songs are perceived, and if you get the energy back, like you get even more emotionally involved in the songs. And yeah.
Does that add another layer of context and add another layer of meaning to the material that maybe wasn't there when you first made it?
Definitely, yeah, definitely think so.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah. And with the crowd interaction and the stage presence, is that really something that you could practice, or is that just something that comes naturally as you play more and more?
I think it kind of comes naturally. Like I was never the kind of guy that was like watching like videos of your idols or something and trying to copy them or something. It's just what I do on stage, or what we do on stage live. I think just comes naturally. It's just you feel the music and just go with the flow. And I never really like, in the beginning it was kind of weird for me, like when we started playing live, to be like a front man, but I kind of grew into that role, and I actually enjoy it. It's like a love-hate thing. Sometimes I get very nervous being in front of a lot of people live, but on the other hand, I love it. So it's like it's always kind of weird thing, weird mixture.
Yep. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I actually think that this was the best car interview I've ever done. I'm genuinely, like, I'm not even kidding. I am genuinely surprised right now that the internet did not cut out on your end. I was like,
Same for me.
yeah, like, I'm really, I don't know if you have like a router in your car or something like that, but your car has better internet access than most people have in their homes, so.
It's pretty surprising for me as well, because Germany, like you would think that Germany has good internet, but it doesn't. Like sometimes you're just riding the train or something and everything, like the internet cuts off. But I'm pretty happy that it worked out that way now.
Yep. And really just had this like night noir. This was the most, I've interviewed a lot of freaking black metal bands, and this one was definitely the most unique one I've done.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, very happy to be part of this.
Of course. Is there just anything else with Heretoir you'd like to promote in terms of live shows, or what else we could be expecting with the release of this new EP, Wastelands?
Yeah, definitely. This is like not the last material that you will see from us this year. That's what I can say, definitely. And there's also more when it comes to playing live. There's more to be expected this year and next year. There's a lot to come. That's what I can say. Definitely look out for new stuff.
Awesome. And the next time I interview you, it's got to be somewhere it's got to be somewhere you got to like do it on top of the Alps or something like that. Like let's make it so it's
I will.
Yeah. But thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Heretoir. Be sure to check out the new EP, Wastelands. More stuff coming very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next